They're going to do facial recognition to tell me if they think that I'm old enough.
Hey,
Now,
technology, huh?
let's see if it registers. This is hilarious. Otherwise, I'll have to upload my ID. Did you have to do that? Upload your ID? Oh, well, that's not helpful. It's not doing. Okay. Okay. Let's see if it knows how old I am. What up, people? I was supposed to say, you messed up my part and get this out of my way. Turn your radio down. Turn your radio down. No, but for real, it is time. Oh my God. TikTok will not allow me to go live because it does not believe that I am over 18, and I appreciate that. Oh, let's try it without the glasses and see. Super great. But anyway, we're here. So, as we all know, it is Sunday, July 14th, and there are still many Houstonians and people in surrounding areas who still do not have any freaking power. We are shocked. We are appalled. We are not very happy about it. But I know if you're like me, you had a lot of questions because the thing about it is the storm was category only one, uno, category one. And so I think myself and a lot of my friends and peers and colleagues and clients are really trying to figure out how do we have people without power for several days due to a category one storm. And so what I'm going to do is bring on a friend of mine who actually produces this show for me. Yay! And I'm not sure what he wants to be called today. I'm sure he has a cool stage name. But not only is he the producer at his studio, Black owned, Up Close Studio. Shout out to Up Close Studio. Google it. He also is a recently former employee of Centerpoint Energy. So, we can sort of hear it from the horse's mouth, and I think this is pretty awesome for us. So come on, sit down, my friend. I'll call him Jamar. He might have a cool stage name. We need to find out. Do you have, in fact, a cool stage name?
Yes, the Black Mamba,
Oh,
the King, the one chosen,
wait a
greatest
second.
of all time, highest of all high.
Oh, no. Okay.
Daddy long legs, big
it's
stroke.
It's too far.
Okay.
Okay.
How about
All right.
then just Jay?
Oh.
That's what everybody calls him.
Jay. Oh, yeah, I guess I could have just said Jay. All right, so Jay. Oh, my God. I don't even know where to start. I got so many questions.
All right, well, hold on. Let me make sure I tag you because we're going live.
Okay. Oh, yeah, tag me,
Yeah, let's
shout
go ahead and make sure
And
you're.
also, I'm trying to get on my TikTok. Please hold because they think I'm too young because of this lovely childish face.
No, black don't crack.
Black does not crack. Even light skin.
You know what? You know what I think happens? It's not that it don't crack.
Okay.
I think what happens is it gets stuck.
Ah.
You know how and I don't want to say nothing.
Fair enough.
To all my, the age folks, but you know how they look 8 or 84, like there's no middle. Blacks get stuck at like 23.
That's actually,
You know what I'm saying? Like about 23, like I'm 41.
That's actually hilarious. No, I don't know what it is, but I know that I'm trying to get on here and it won't let me, and so that's a little disturbing for me. But I'm trying to get on here so I can share the information with everybody at the same time. All right, so here we go.
Why won't it let me?
It won't let me
Forward
either.
to
I'm
you,
just gonna tell you.
What technology? Good thing we're having this conversation so we could talk about this technology, huh?
Oh my!
Because that's what a
God.
big part of this is technology. I just want you to know that.
Write this code down. It says literally write this code down.
All
FYN
right.
UG6. Take a selfie holding your ID and a piece. They didn't make you do all this?
I didn't do none of this stuff.
Oh my God. It's because my face looks so young. Oh, it says I have to have a piece of paper and write down that and attach it with my ID. Can you please give me a piece of paper, sir? I guess I can forget about this for right now. Okay, good. My God, this is outrageous. This is outrageous.
Things we supposed to do beforehand.
Okay.
Before going live.
And we was ready to go, and I did not know that TikTok was going to tell
Now you're getting
me
to see all of the back.
that I
the
could
back
not
end
go
stuff.
live
This
on
is the
TikTok.
Fun stuff. Yeah, this is the fun stuff. This is stuff people like to do.
Ever. Okay, so anyway, we have lots of questions for you, my friend.
Hold on one second. Let's make sure you're on here so you can deal with it.
Oh my God, they're killing me. They're killing me. Okay, so I can do this and I can do this, and then I can take this selfie, and we'll cut all this out in editing and post. Okay, now, I gave them the code. Are they going to make me wait? That would really suck. Has anybody else tried using TikTok Live? Jesus. Girl, they say it's under review, so now I can't even go live on here, so don't even worry about it. It's just foolishness. No, it says they have to review that I'm old enough to do so. This makes absolutely no sense. Forget about it. Forget about it. Let's just roll with this one. And we can edit it and I can repost it later because that's how we do. Now, you were able to tag me on Facebook, though, right?
That's what I'm doing right now. But, since we're a business account, I'm quite sure they can't hear me.
Oh, they giving you hell to tell the captain, too. Let's see if I got. Oh, well. Oh, yeah, I guess I can do that now since that failed me. Actually, I can go live on my own damn Facebook. If it don't let you tag me. Yeah, that's what I'll do. That's what I'll do. I don't know, but I'm just going to go live from here. Okay. Is Centerpointless. Sometimes it does do that with, Ooh, nice. Nice. Okay. That's not a bad thing. I'm not mad at that, actually. Whatever. Okay, so what's happening now? I like this because it makes my hair look very blue, and that's pretty dope. All right, so much for that. All that preparation for nothing.
The fun we have in the studio. So you ready to get started for real then?
If you want to call it fun, yeah.
It's fun. I like to,
You like to what?
I like all this.
I like to move it, move it. Okay, for real, for real. Let me see if I can get you in there too or no. Nope, I'll just stay here until you talk. All right, we are live at 5. Oh, you got to move closer to me now. Okay. Yeah, so we can get us both. All right, so now stop playing around. Let's get serious.
All right, so yes, to kind of tell you, yes, I was working for Centerpoint in the actual department that will handle these things.
So you're the guy who gets the call or the messages about what's
Right.
down.
Our job as a controller is the one who helps to ensure that the grid stays hot.
Okay, the grid stays hot,
Mhm.
meaning on.
Power on. Yes.
Powered. Okay, this is good. Okay. So what the hell happened?
All right, for one, I will say this: it's 3 parts. One, I cannot, not because of my work or whatever else, but it is not the fault of the people who are actually doing the work.
Okay.
It is not the controller's fault at all. It's actually probably not anybody.
Of course, you're gonna say it's not y'all's fault. No.
And I'm gonna tell you why. So here's what happens typically in a storm. All right?
Okay. All right.
Storm comes through. You know, electricity is dangerous.
Yeah.
Deadly. Okay.
Yeah.
So storm comes through. We'll try to do what we can without going too far into the electrical end of it. But what happens is, and I'm gonna use these phones as an example. Storm comes through.
Okay.
You have a circuit breaker.
Okay.
Right? There's a circuit breaker. This is where the substation is. This is where all the power comes out to go to people's homes.
Okay.
Then we'll have a device somewhere out in the field that kind of splits that up. All right.
Okay.
So a storm comes through, and it's behind this device. Takes all these people out. This opens up.
Okay.
These people from here to this phone are still on. That's why you can see people who are like,
that have power.
Oh, they got power. How come I don't have power?
Oh.
Well, because the damage is somewhere outside of this.
Okay.
Well, if the storm is bad enough, it'll take everything out.
Yes. Okay.
And you can't just hit the switch and turn this back on.
Okay.
Because there could be poles down, wires down. I'm gonna use this pen as that on the ground. They send electricity. Oh, it's fine all the way here, and then now you got a wire just jumping on the ground.
Oh,
now
that's with the guys you see messing with the wires.
Now you electrocuted people. Now you've caused all kinds of other issues. You've caused all kinds of problems.
Okay.
You can't do that. That's life. You're messing with people's lives.
Okay.
Especially if you're in a car driving and you don't know that to you, all you see is a pole and equipment on it, not realizing that thing is barely hanging on. Ooh. And when that power shoot through, it falls down. So now you're stuck in the car under a pole or under falling equipment or something blows, whatever else.
Okay.
And remember, electricity is flowing at the speed of light. Like, it's not, to give you an example of how fast that breaker opens and closes, if you've ever been home and you've seen your lights flicker, you literally lost 100% power. It was all gone. So the breaker opened, all the power was lost, and it closed. That power came right back.
I just have more questions now. So why in 2024 is it that easy for stuff to be just knocked out like that?
Because, all right, well,
that's crazy to me. Where's the money going? Where's the money going?
Now, this is where we get into the real issues. To me,
Jesus,
I am a wreck. Even in my position, I was a problem.
Okay.
I know that because I was a problem because
you asked questions.
I asked questions. I need to know, especially when you're looking around at your friends or your people, your coworkers, and you're doing stuff, and you're like, we all sitting here ready to get this stuff done. I don't care about what these other people are talking about.
Okay.
Which is why I also wanted to dispel a couple rumors. Like, one, I hate the whole fact that it's like, what zip code is on? Zip code plays no part in it.
Oh, wow.
It does not. Now, is there a priority for certain circuits? Yes. Yes, there is.
Tell me more.
Right. Now, some of them are expected. Hospitals.
Oh, yes. Okay, fair enough.
Hospitals.
Okay.
Regardless of how I feel.
Okay.
Take that for what you want. Regardless of how I feel. Police department.
I knew it. I knew he was going to say that.
Police departments.
Yes.
Fire departments expected, especially because of storms and emergencies.
So they're going to prioritize those.
Yeah.
But even some of those lost power this time, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because what happens is it's still on the grid. The electric grid is still the same.
Yes.
Well, what happens? So when those wires come out, when that electricity comes out and goes to amongst these different circuits. So when you see a substation, that's where you see the bin thing. It says all the fans, high voltage, don't go in here. You see all these poles. That one substation may house 8 or 9 different circuits.
Ooh.
So, and that may cover, 20 miles. So what happens, and I have to back up a little bit. What happens most time when you lose power, like 99% of the time, it's one of the same few items. Somebody ran into a pole, knocked it down.
Yeah. Just
because you didn't see it, you up here mad calling in, what's wrong with me? Y'all don't call me, y'all call customer service.
Okay.
Why are my lights out? I've been out for 2 hours. And everybody at that moment when they don't lose power got a personal oxygen. And I was like, really, the whole city on oxygen, huh? Everybody, we know people are lying.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you just want it back on.
Yeah.
So, but that's usually what it is. Or somebody was cutting a tree, knocked down something.
Oh, yeah.
And then the last one is just negligence. Pole is old. It finally gave way. And you got to remember, so many poles and if you never call to say, that pole looks weird, or like, this bird's up there chipping away at that pole.
It's just sitting there.
It's just sitting there, and then we get one little rainstorm, and in your mind, my power has never gone out before in the rain. Well, this time it did because that pole been there for, you don't let people in your yard, that pole been there for 13 years, just rotting away. And so that's usually what ends up happening. Sometimes, and then plus, this equipment is man-made. Eventually, stuff just fails.
Right.
Yeah. So when a storm comes.
But if you knew a storm was coming.
So what happens, and this is why I say that
that's
it's a failure, in my opinion.
Okay.
Of.
Your personal opinion.
Of this lackluster, the second in command, lieutenant governor, and the mayor. So storm comes in. What will happen with us? Hey, y'all, watching the Gulf. Realize this storm will be coming somewhere near here.
Yeah.
Near here.
Okay.
Even if it's not coming to Houston, we'll mobilize.
Okay.
Because what if it goes south to Victoria or just somewhere.
Okay.
We can get people out there and help with resources.
Okay.
So we always mobilize.
Okay.
So what happens is when we mobilize, you get people standing by. As it's been stated and notified, which I'm quite sure, I don't know how many of y'all saw this, federal government always gets involved.
Mm-hmm.
What usually happens is, and if you anybody who's ever seen hurricanes, you always hear, we've initiated federal action,
Right.
so therefore we can prepare for the storm.
Okay.
FEMA comes in usually 3 to 4 days beforehand,
Okay.
or at least they're prepared.
Right.
Federal funds come, crews come in, military if necessary.
So that didn't happen this time?
Because
it couldn't have. It did not.
It did
correct.
not happen.
Okay. It did not happen this time.
So what
Okay.
I've been what I've seen, what I've been reading, and all that kind of stuff is,
Jeez.
of course, everybody complaining about Biden not being able to talk. He sure was able to speak up and say, "Oh, we told y'all 3 days ahead of time. You did not return the call till Tuesday. The storm was Monday morning."
Oh, I saw people writing about that, so that's what they
So
meant.
then-
So they got to give the go to say, yeah,
you can't
let's
just
do
because
it.
it's still states' rights. It's still we have a lot of stuff that people,
Wow.
unfortunately,
Why?
civics is
Okay, more
civics
questions.
Is not taught.
Why would they say? Why would they lag on
All right.
that? Why would they not say yes?
This
Go
is
ahead and send the troops in.
me. It's not conspiracy theory, but it's
Okay.
purely my understanding of how I see stuff.
Right.
But it is still my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Houston is a very blue city.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Houston is a very powerful city.
Mm-hmm.
To give you an example of how powerful Houston is, Houston has, if Houston voted at 75% of its eligible voting block,
Mm-hmm.
it literally will change the state.
Mm.
Well, we look at Beto versus, I'm sorry, I'm going to stop calling them Hot Wheels,
Hot
Power
Wheels.
Wheels. Can't call them Power Wheels, can't call them Hot Wheels. That's, whatever. It's not to handicap people, it's to him.
Mm-hmm.
But they have been making all kinds of rules and laws and everything else specifically against Houston. From like the school takeover, when there are much worse performing schools out there,
Okay.
districts out there,
Mm-hmm.
from the one single voting box when Houston area-wise is bigger than New York City, it's bigger than LA, it's the third largest, it's between third and fourth largest population, but in area-wise, it's like huge, it's much bigger than most cities.
Mm-hmm.
And you put one voting drop box.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
they're doing stuff on purpose to curb the vote and to break up here. Whitmire, okay, what nobody says, yeah, he votes under the Democratic banner.
He doesn't seem very democratic to me.
He does everything
Yeah.
he can to appeal to Trump. And it's not so much, I don't care who you want to support. I have a problem when you take your support and influence those who did not.
Mm-hmm.
So like if I am a person who is very pro women's choice,
Mm-hmm.
abortion, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say everybody needs to have an abortion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say everybody can have the option to have one. If you choose not to have one, I'm not going to stand in your way.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is you don't get that the same on the other way. It's, I don't think anybody should have an abortion. Okay, well, cool. Don't have one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, you can't have one either.
Right.
Well, hold on a second now.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this was about freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyway, I bring that back forward to now. So you got the lieutenant governor who's trying to blame everybody because first he blamed Biden. Biden came out and said that. Then he went to, well, it was the CEO of, and I have.
So the start.
thoughts.
So the start of the problems is them not receiving the help when they originally
receive
wanted
help.
to get, because they did not accept it until 3 days later.
Correct.
That's the beginning of
That's
the
the
failure.
beginning of it.
Okay,
And that's because,
clear.
like I said again, there's always something. There's a reason behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they really cared,
Mm-hmm.
because if that storm was going to the Rio Grande Valley, I guarantee that they would have initiated it.
Oh.
Those people don't vote.
Oh.
So, and to go back, I was talking about with Beto versus the governor that we have now. The amount of people who voted, if I'm not mistaken, was in the neighborhood of 9.5 million people, like total votes. And Beto lost by, 200 and something thousand? There were 10 million people who are registered who did not vote. We're not even talking about unregistered.
Ooh,
Houston's mayor, between Whitmire and Hairbun, was, I like her. I like Sheila Jackson Lee. But come on now, she's been rocking that same 1988.
No, stay on track. Bro.
All right,
Stay
I'm
on track, bro.
But anyways, when their runoff happened, he won with 126,000 votes to her 90. Houston has 2.1 million people who registered.
Nobody voting. Mm-hmm.
Nobody voted. So what happens is the same thing with Florida with DeSantis. DeSantis won by 100,000 votes. If only Broward County had voted at the same level, not 100%, but at 60%, which the rest of the state did, he would have lost by several 100,000 votes.
Yeah.
So voting is important in all this here. And so when these people go in here and they start doing the evil that they told you they were going to do,
that's right.
Why would you not expect this to happen?
Right.
So now you have situations like this, because this is what people don't remember. They're only in there right now. I don't have lights. Well, the reason you don't have lights is because you did not show up for infrastructure. When these people were doing and showing you all this stuff that they were talking about beforehand, you didn't show up to any of the PUC meetings. You didn't show up to nothing. So
we're uninformed.
So now you have the last storm that came through Houston.
Okay.
That storm with the tornadoes was much worse than
yeah,
what was expected.
Exactly.
The reason why so many people are having problems now, this is the second thing. All the resources were taken up by that. So therefore, what happens is when that storm came through and tore down poles and equipment and poles, you know you have to make new poles. You got to make new equipment. They're just not like a stockpile warehouse with 100,000 of them in there.
Lord have mercy.
So now, okay, it does mean jobs. It does mean stuff like that. But remember, Centerpoint, no one showed up when it was like, hey, we need $100 million to recoup our monies from doing that, which is where leadership comes into. From a business standpoint, why are you mad? They told you what kind of business standpoint they were. So they're not going to pay for nothing. We're hugely profitable. Centerpoint makes money.
Ooh.
And when you start talking about this infrastructure bills and all this other stuff, guess who the companies who can do that? So again, this is why I say civics is so hard, and we don't step back and think about things because, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to take over, not trying to get around, but when President Biden did the different plan for when they was talking about infrastructure, each state was allocated so many millions and billions of dollars. Well, someone has to take that money, usually your governor, and then they disperse it amongst the companies that can do it because America's a business. So what happens is your Centerpoints, your Reliance, or whoever else who are utilities and all that kind of stuff takes that money and then say, hey, we're going to rebuild and redo this.
But they're not doing it. Oh, God.
So that comes down to leadership. But when you vote for people who are cronies, who are like, hey.
And they just trying to fatten their own pockets.
There you go.
And get more power.
And then the Supreme Court just gave them the right. Oh, as long as it's a tip, you can get it now.
Yeah.
So they've already shown you what they are doing.
Jeez.
So now bring back to why you have no power. You have no power because of the fact that you sat here, you did not vote, or you do not understand civics, so you think your outrage is as long as I posted something on Instagram.
No, they
Twitter,
don't care.
Else,
they literally don't even care.
You think that was the extent I needed to go. As long as it trended for a day, it counted.
Right.
So you did all of that.
You got to show up. You have to show up.
You have to show up.
You have to show up.
Since they did not show up, those people who are in positions of power are going to do what it is that they chose to do. So you didn't listen. You only heard, Trump is just funny, but he ain't never hurt nobody. Or Biden's just old and but you didn't go any deeper than that. Like that's not the extent of what it is.
Yeah.
Like when we start talking about this stuff, everything affects your daily life.
Yeah.
So here we are now. Had a storm a couple months ago. Resources are gone. New storm comes up. Now, no one knew. So that storm, you would not have asked for federal help because that was a pop-up storm.
Gotcha. Emergency.
But this one was,
you knew it was coming for days. Yeah,
initialized.
For days. They was talking about
remember, like when all these storms come in Louisiana, they always say we've alerted federal agencies. They're already in place. You'll start seeing trucks rolling through. You see websites pop up. Everything is already there. So us in our end, as a controller, we are told, hey, we're going to what's called EOP, Emergency Operating Procedure. They got the people who normally be answering the phones. Now you're going to be over here serving food because you're there. Wow. You're there every day, all day, nonstop. You can't leave for nothing except to go sleep for a couple hours and come right back.
Oh, my gosh.
So, and then they put beds in there. You can go do all that kind of stuff. So it's like you're all there. And so then the crews get mobilized. They run in the same rotation, 18 hours, 16 hours to 20 hours. Someone trying to push more. And so they have to go somewhere and stop. So we also bring in contractors, which, by the way, I'm going to take this opportunity. Let me know if I'm talking too much or somebody got a question or something. But I hate the fact that people believe anything that is said online.
Okay.
Anything without thinking about it.
Okay.
I believe most people aren't naturally just lying. But I do believe that a lot of people are adding a lot of sauce on stuff.
Got you. Okay.
So there was one particular, I'll talk about the first one that was sent to me. It's a guy, I'm LA. I came from LA. I'm a contractor. And we sitting out here and they trying to dictate the money. And the first words out of my mouth, and this video got like, I think it was like at 40,000 views, like when he just posted, and it was like 4,000 comments. And the first thing I said was, you mean to tell me you travel from LA
and didn't know if you
to Houston without a contract? You're not a contractor.
You're not a contractor.
Because your company would say, hey, either one or two things. Hey, y'all are going, or hey, volunteers or who wants to go. If you're a contract, you don't show up. Right now, just think about that. Your neighbor tree falls down their yard and they call you and say, hey, can you come help me? And you can make that choice. Yeah, nay. And they'll say, all right, man, look, I ain't got no money, whatever else. Or they'll say, I got food, or I just really need help. And you make that decision, right?
Yeah.
Then you got the kinds where it's like, hey, I'm moving this weekend. Hey, I give you $100. You gonna come help me?
Right.
All right, cool. You know what it is.
Right.
There has never been a time where a person just showed up. You were on the other side of town. I think somebody's tree down. Let me go over there and see. Oh, their tree is down. Let me pull in here and say, all right, y'all, I'm ready to help.
Yeah.
Oh, we ain't got no money. Well, I'm not gonna help till you get the money right.
Oh, wow.
Like it doesn't. Like none of it made sense. And people, and I get it. We hot. You hot.
Yeah.
But you hot. You listen to it.
Yeah.
You don't care what it is. I'm just hot, man. You start hearing all kinds of stuff. Man, it's hot out here.
Yeah.
But these people are lying. And they're creating a narrative. One, they're going to get that social media currency that they want, but they're creating these bad stories. And then it's causing the unnecessary undue pressure on these people to lie. So now you have a lieutenant governor who's up there. He went from blaming Biden as if he could control the weather.
Right.
Everybody's not Trump with a Sharpie and can draw on the map. But so, and this is not even an anti anything. It's just the whole, how the process works and why it's so stupid.
Right.
So then he went from that to blaming the CEO of Centerpoint, who can't control the weather.
Right.
Now, could he have done things better? Hell yes.
Okay.
Like utilizing the money right and not try to burn Houston down like he burned California down. But that's neither. I don't mean not say that. I take that back. I don't, but I do. Okay. Right. So, but there are things that we can do better.
Yeah.
Then you have him blaming, of all people, Lena Hidalgo.
Oh God, yeah.
How are you gonna blame her?
Yeah.
Oh well, she's the one who set up there, and then I love the response. Her office says, "We're not gonna take the time to deal with petty BS right now. We're out here trying to help people."
It's a crisis. Yeah.
Harris County is one of the largest counties in the nation. Yes, but you know what? One of the worst hit areas was Fort Bend County.
And ain't nobody.
How come you didn't bring up the mayor? Do you even know who's running Fort Bend County?
Wow. Yeah.
But guess what? Fort Bend County is pretty much 55-45, blue to red. You know, while Harris County is like 68-32. Right. You follow what I'm saying?
Right.
And when you've been demonized, this is the part where I say where it gets bad. When you've been demonizing the word liberal or blue or left and all these different arbitrary words, they mean nothing. If you really think about it, they mean nothing. Liberal has a real meaning. Yeah. And people use it as if it's a cuss word when liberal just means open to ideas. If you say you're about freedom, what does it say after that? Liberty.
Yes.
Come from the same root word that liberal come from. So anyways, so you find yourself jumping onto those things. And I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot.
So why is it now we got all that? Why is it taking so long to restore the power?
When you start having all these people who are high up get involved. Okay. Everybody starts. Here's the example I'll use. I got to use an example because I want to say one thing, but I'm not going to, be right. Okay. All right. It's like when you're at your job. All right, say, for instance, you have an actual real heavy profession. Yeah. It is important that you are paying attention to what's going on.
Absolutely.
And what if a supervisor comes to you and says, stop doing what you're doing, come over here and talk to me for a second.
Oh, wow.
What do you think is happening to everything down the line? Your stuff is
getting
time
interrupted.
You can't give the person the time they need because now when you do get back, you have to refocus, retrain, figure out where you were. And now it pushed every client back after that too.
Oh my God.
So now everybody.
So when do you think this is gonna be ready to go? Everybody be back. Everybody be back next week.
All right. So,
but it should have really taken how long?
It should have taken 4 days.
4 days.
Maybe. All right. Because think about it. What's the one from 2017? The last really bad one. Harvey. Harvey took 7 days. It was 10 days for real. But you have to wait for water to recede.
Okay.
And that was the other part I was going to say earlier. It's like when a storm is bad and it's in the middle of it, you can't turn. Remember I told you about the lines down?
Yes.
You have to let
everything
go. Like, so
that's fair.
So people who never lost power during the storm never lost power at all. There's certain the way the winds came, everything happened. It was just perfect.
It's just luck because it could be any of us.
And there's people who I know where half of an apartment complex is gone.
Yes.
And they never went out. Imagine
or the gas station across the street from their apartment.
Imagine being unit 422 and 424 across the hallway is on. You hear them in there just partying, and they got music playing and stuff. They eating.
Wow.
And you like, man, let me run this little orange extension cord from your sing or something.
Wow. Okay.
But that's what. But it usually takes that. But that we ended up overall, I think it was 11 days. But most of that
for
was,
Harvey.
But that was also because there was so much water that was just sitting. You have to wait for that to recede.
Wow.
You can't go water. We know water and electricity don't mix. Who are you gonna send out there? We have to put stuff on boats and float whole. So the people do major. I'm talking about major stuff. They created whole substations. Remember that building I was talking about with all those different things? They were creating mobile ones live, like putting
just
them
to get
on
it done.
rafts, boats, putting them in there temporarily, and then shutting stuff and moving power here.
How come some people's power comes on and goes back off?
All right, so
I've heard people.
Yeah, so that happens. It happens a lot. So I'll use this example here. I got these different things.
Yeah.
So remember I told you circuit breaker is on. Then you got some type of device, a pole top switch, IG device, whatever else, and it's here. Say you don't have this, so it's just here to here.
Okay.
This is your house. This is substation.
Okay.
Well, you're on now, but there's a branch that breaks off and goes this way. We can't tie in with that energized. So what happens is, because now you're up there dealing with all this electricity cutting through, talking about I need to cut that and splice this together to get these people on.
Lord.
You can't do that. You will fry everybody and everything. So they have to de-energize this. Now they can go up there and get to work.
Correct it. Okay.
Do all the stuff they need to do, tie it in, test it, make sure it's good, take blankets, do all the stuff that they need to do. Then take all that back down, and then they're going to test it. All right, take the grounds off, do all that stuff, light it up. They light it up.
So is there a better way to do these things? Somebody was saying, they should do underground power. They said in Houston that might not work.
Well, it depends. Part of it is because, again, we go back to leadership. Okay. And that could be leadership in your home, your area.
Okay.
Most homes are URD, underground. It's called URD. That's why you don't see poles in your neighborhood.
Okay.
If you have any newer neighborhood, probably from 90,
you won't see too many poles.
8-ish, you don't see poles.
Okay.
You see poles outside of the neighborhood. And remember, and that's because they come in, they go to a terminal pole and they go underground. Well, if that feed source is down, all the people underground
it don't matter too. Okay.
You follow what I'm saying? So
it don't fix
and then most every big corporation and big business and big building is all underground. So when you say, hey, how come downtown is on and none of the rest of us on? All their stuff is underground. But also, remember when we had Harvey? Guess who did not come back on?
Because that takes a lot more to fix.
Down there, yes.
Ooh, so it's dangerous.
So it goes both ways. It can be. I think URD is a great way to go for residential.
Okay.
And then there's 3-phase, which is the huge stuff. So your big plants and stuff like that. They're underground, but they do still come out. It has to come out somewhere.
Okay.
But there are a lot of places where you have a lot of problems, like Pecan Grove and all these, and then places like out in the woodlands and stuff like that, because they don't want to cut trees. They love their trees too much. And so what happens if you have a pole right here with electricity on it, and this tree, we're like, hey, we need to cut this tree.
Yeah.
Because you keep going without power every time a storm comes through. I dare you. I wish you would touch that tree. There's a blue canary in that tree. I want to. And that rain comes in and blows in, and guess what it does? It hits this, power's out.
And then they upset.
And then you complain. When all we had to do is cut the tree down. We're not saying uproot the tree and move it. We're saying, which you've seen now in a lot of places. You ever see, like, you're driving down the road and you see that tree, except it looks like it's been cut straight up and over, so like trucks can go through it. They're doing that on purpose.
Oh my God.
So therefore, these trucks will stop hitting these trees and brushing them into power lines.
So let me ask you this: 2 more questions, really important questions. One,
I'm sorry, I'm talking.
Do
a lot.
you
Am
think?
I talking too much?
Well, I mean, we can always cut it up and just get the parts we need.
All right.
Do you think they will actually be held accountable?
No.
Okay, that's easy.
Because who's the person you put in charge to hold them accountable? And if you're already blaming everybody but yourself, how are you going to hold somebody else accountable? They're going to find the one person, like I said, Lena Hidalgo. They're going to find whoever that they can say is the problem. They're going who does not deserve all the hate that he's getting. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of CEOs, but the CEO of Centerpoint technically did all he could do. He really did. So regardless of how you feel about him, he did what he's supposed to do. He mobilized because he can't call for federal action.
Oh, you're saying it's the mayor and all of them who prevented everybody from doing what they needed to do.
More than.
But everybody won't be mad at Centerpoint also because they just make a lot of dang money.
They make a lot of money, and they're the only person you can call.
And they're the only person you can call the monopoly. And and so we don't think. I also don't think. I think we'll be upset just like with Harvey or whatever else, or the ice storm. And then we're back comfortable and we have AC and we forget about it.
You're only mad when you're hot.
What? But if we were actually compelled to do something, what should we do?
It's a 3-part process. One, new leadership. One, governor should not be, and not just. And again, let me be clear when I say a new governor, new leadership. I don't care so much about blue and red. Bloods and Crips are Bloods and Crips.
Just want a good leader.
Yeah. Just want somebody who is going to do. I always base everything on the humanity of another person. How does it help or harm a person? Because every action will either help or harm a group of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
It will. It's like, for instance, with money, there's only so much money there is. So in order for you to get more of it, that means you have to take it from someone.
Yeah. Easy.
Now, I'm not talking about people who do great jobs and they just are good at getting that money because I need what you have. Here you go, take my money.
Right.
I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about people who are like, yeah, we're making a lot of money, but I need to make sure I get these shareholders a little extra, which is yourselves. So I get that bonus. So now it's a competition between billionaires to become bigger billionaires. Or I make $46 million a year, but I'm going to get this. Oh, we're going to capitalize on this. Because don't get me wrong. As a controller, it sucks. But we capitalize on that. You know why? We get paid all the overtime and everything else. So we get a check every time. But we are working. We're doing a job. So no one is ever going to get mad at us for earning the money we make.
Yeah.
For doing that. But if you sitting at home
making 60
and you decide that, hey, we not going to do this for people
and we still
so you can save money. You know, and again, I know I use a lot of analogies. I'm sorry, y'all, for going on, but I'll just give you this one quick thing. It's like the whole Walmart thing with the police department. Walmart saved. I think this was 2014, 15. So up in there, it come out what they were doing. They would go into new areas, talk about infrastructure, make the city fix the roads, do all this stuff, and that was we're good for the community. But then the first thing they did was they fired security. And then the security became the city's cops. Not on purpose for like, hey, we just need more. It's so they could save money on the bottom line. So so they put the one old person in the front of the store, and when somebody's doing something, you call the cops. Now you're using city resources on this new city street to come handle your security problem. When you could have just had loss prevention. And when's the last time you seen loss prevention anywhere?
No, they don't care.
And then because of how big Walmart is, guess what other companies start doing? Second example, Elon Musk in Twitter. Soon as I'm going to make people pay for it, guess what happened to the rest of them? Now Instagram has a
monetized thing.
You follow what I'm saying? All it takes is one person to step out there, let them take all of the heat of it. He's rich enough that where he can. And again, if we are honest, leadership, he got his money. Elon Musk went to the heights he went on government contracts. That's our tax money. So when you think about it, you're like, all this money is going overseas. And when you have people who are in positions, they're like, no, it's not. We gave SpaceX, $22 billion.
Oh my God.
That's local, right? Apple gets all these billions of breaks. That's local, right?
Yeah.
So you're focusing on the wrong thing because all you saw is Ukraine got this. Y'all didn't give it to Haiti, which if they want to Haiti, they could have.
They just know how to play the game, and we don't. And we don't understand the game to even play it or stop it.
But no, here's the problem. You're right. We know the game. We choose not to play the game because I guarantee you, if it was an episode of Scandal or one of the other shows, we would have the intricacies of it down. People can argue with me not argue with me, but like can tell me all the entry. I have no concern over the housewives. What
Atlanta?
Yeah, but what's the one? Ever the whole little beef that's going on with?
Oh, I don't keep up back, with it either, child.
Whatever, yeah. But I had two ladies and this guy try to explain this to me for a good 30 minutes, and I was like, "How does this make my life better?"
It doesn't. It doesn't.
But then I asked him because I'm an a-hole. I was like, "So what we doing with the vote, man? And people."
Yeah, they don't care. Yeah.
Well, hold on a second now. So that means you have the capacity.
So this doesn't change if people don't start voting.
People need to not only vote, but know how you're voting. And that's up and down. So if we want this to not happen again, one, we need God to step in because we need to make sure another storm doesn't come through within the next 3 to 5 months.
Fair. Yeah.
Because
Which it could, by the way.
We just don't have enough poles. There's not enough equipment. So all these crews that y'all see sitting in places, it's because where they're going to go.
Oh, wow.
So if you get to the neighborhood of name of Hunter's Glen, water out front of it.
Yeah, you can't.
Poles down. How are they gonna get to it? And then what do I look like sending a one-man single truck over there when he can't do the job? We need a tree crew over there to cut these trees out the way so we get up there and get the pole back up. So then you got to send a pole crew. So while you riding by mad because you hot, charging your phone in the car, and you see 12 people sitting over there sitting in trucks, they can't just because they're here. They don't mean that. How many times you been at your job and decide to stop for a second? Like, damn, I'm hungry. Hey, what y'all doing? Man, I went to whatever names. I went to the club last night. Oh, how would you feel if you're super? Oh, so y'all can come over here and talk, but y'all not gonna get to work. You would be like, I only sat for a second, or I'm waiting on the client. Or I'm waiting on this. Yeah. So it's a lot of that.
This is a mess.
Which is why I say, but even so, since all these hands are getting involved, they're slowing up and messing up the process of getting things done. Now it's outside people trying to tell the controllers and all the people how to do what they always do. Like I said, pulling you away to try to tell you, well, I think you should be nicer to this person. Now that person needs me to be mean. No, because, press is looking now.
So nothing changes if we don't show up and vote, and that's because they're not going to hold people accountable. The government is not going to hold people accountable. They all work together.
If it was up to me, if I was a betting man, I bet in about 2 to 3 weeks, you're going to have, because Abbott will be back, and they're going to say, I would need answers. It's going to be a whole bunch of this, I need answers.
Yeah, they're going to act like they're doing something. It's the shuffling papers around.
Yeah, it's going to be this whole little thing.
Yes.
They're going to make sure all the news is there.
Okay.
And they're going to be like, we need to hold answers and be accountable. Who's accountable? And they're going to pick 2 scapegoats. And it's going to be somebody from Centerpoint. And like I said, they're really pushing on Lena Hidalgo. Because why? But they're going to find somewhere. But see, guess what? When the governor and the mayor are friends, can't look at your friend like that. You feel what I'm saying? So why would I blame my friend?
This is bad, man.
So who's going to be responsible? Then they're going to start saying, or they're just going to, I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to hold this fake tribunal type thing, and then they're going to mysteriously forget about it.
And do we need more polls and all of that?
Yeah, yeah. But that just comes down to just resources. It just takes time. Because it's not like they're going out there. You're not going to Home Depot and buying a pole.
Right.
These are like, they have to be treated. They have to be special ratings. They have to do, there's a lot of stuff involved. Which is why, like when we start talking about, oh, we're going to eliminate red tape so we could do, all right. And then when your poles keep falling, because you decided, to business, make it cheaper. So I don't have to do all this other stuff. See, when people don't realize when you end regulations, you ruin jobs and you ruin safety.
Oh my God.
So there are rules in place on purpose. So therefore, if you run your car into this pole, depending on your speed, it's supposed to maintain a certain amount of, or if birds land on it, it's got to be safe enough that it's not killing everything. It's got to be treated so when it rains, these things don't happen. You feel what I'm saying? You just not taking no 2x4s and welding them together and bam, put that on up there. You can't do a metal pole because it's freaking metal. So you feel what I'm saying? Like, so if there's a company that's not making poles in I don't know where they get the poles. Let's say it's in Arkansas.
Okay.
They gotta cut the trees. They gotta treat them, and they gotta ship them here.
Jeez, yeah.
And then we're not even talking about the equipment that goes on the pole. So when you're replacing all this wire, eventually you're gonna run out of wire.
We better hope we get through to the next year.
That's what I'm saying. So it needs to be
scary.
It needs to be to prevent this from happening again. Hands need to be out the way. It needs to be a uniform plan. Okay. It needs to be a set plan. Who is in command? That person's in command, and they got to be able to hold they got to be strong enough to be able to say that win, lose, or draw, I'm in control, and we're going to do this here. This is the plan. You got to have that plan. If that person does not do that, means they got to turn to their friend and say, I don't give a damn what you're saying. This is what we're going to do.
This is what we're going to do. But we don't have, they won't do that. They don't have the soul for that. They don't have the conscience for that.
You put people in there whose whole job is to make money.
Everything starts from the top down, of course. Well, guys, you heard it here first. Drop any questions and comments. We'll come back and answer them, but it was very thorough for me. I definitely have a better understanding, but it doesn't put me any better off because it still comes.
I was long-winded, y'all.
It still comes back. It still comes back to if we don't do something about it, something doesn't get done. It's just really that we have to hold them accountable, and we have to hold them accountable through voting. That's the first line of defense. It's probably not the only thing, but that's absolutely where it starts. So I wish us luck.
Yeah, and do stuff like cut your trees back. Stop being so stingy. Like, pay attention to stuff. Oh, that's weird. Very weird. I'm going to say this here. There are a lot of nasty people out there.
Oh, God.
And unfortunately, there's a lot of times we used to have to get crews to go in people's yard, and it's a jungle back there. It's trash. Like, it's a problem. Don't be turning the generators into tables. So, I don't like how it looks. It was green. Well, so now you putting all this stuff on it, and this thing generates heat.
Oh,
now you're holding in the heat of this particular thing too.
Oh,
guess what's happening? You feel what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of things that
we all just got to do better.
We all have to do our parts.
As a system, I love that. As a system, we all have to do better. Well, thank you to my friend Jay, who is formerly a Centerpoint Energy employee, and he's more than happy to answer any questions. He enjoys this stuff. If you can't tell, he enjoys this stuff. Yeah. So thank you for joining. We'll be back with any updates. Prayers out to anybody who is still without power, which is still a whole lot of people. But we'll see y'all next time. Yeah.
And she made me lower my chair.
Peace. So how can I, because that's going to be a big file, how can I get it so